work that you all are doing to inform and empower parents around so many important issues, everything from breastfeeding to child nutrition to getting kids to be more physically active. You all are taking on some of the biggest challenges that parents are facing when it comes to their kids' well-being. And that's really why we invited you here today to talk more about Let's Move. Because no one plays a bigger, more important role in our kids' health than we do as parents. In fact, I'm not sure if many of you know the history of my involvement in childhood obesity and Let's Move, but I came to this issue really as a mom. Believe it or not, we haven't always lived here in the White House, although sometimes it feels that way. But it wasn't that long ago that I was a busy working mom with a job as an associate dean and eventually as vice president at the University of Chicago Hospitals. And life back then was a constant juggling act for our family. Barack was traveling all the time. He was running for some office at some point in time. He was going back and forth to Washington. And at the time, the girls were little. And they had those little kid schedules, boy, filled with soccer practice, birthday parties, play dates, and dance classes. We were always rushing, always pressed for time. And as a result, meal times were all about whatever was quick and easy. The drive-through, the microwave, takeout, any convenience food you could think of, we did it. And this went on for quite a while, but one day I got a wake-up call. We were at a pediatrician's office for a routine checkup, and after doing the exam, you know, they take the measurements and weigh them, and measure the head and all that stuff. Our doctor got this look of concern on his face, and he asked me, "What are you all eating at home?" And right then and there, I remember in the exam room, my heart sank. The thought that I was maybe doing something that wasn't good for my kids was devastating. And maybe some of you can relate, but as an overachiever, I was like, wait, what do you mean? I'm not getting an A in motherhood? Is this like a B minus, a C plus? What are you telling me?
No problem.
But it really threw me. And that was my light bulb moment when I realized that we needed to make some real changes in our family routine. So I rolled up my sleeves, went home, did some homework, and I searched for obviously simple, affordable approaches, and I started making some changes. For starters, I tried to cook more. Nothing crazy, just a few more home-cooked dinners each week, maybe baked chicken on Monday, pasta and a salad on Wednesday, and I always tried to make a nice Sunday dinner that would provide leftovers for the week. Instead of cookies and chips for snacks and sugary drinks, we switched to fruit and string cheese and lots of water. And dessert in our household went from being a basic human right to being a special treat for weekends. So we really shook things up, and I have to tell you, this new routine was not very popular at first. I still remember how the girls would sit at the kitchen table and I'd sort out their lunches, and they would sit there with their little sorry apple slices. They'd have these sad little faces. They would speak longingly of their beloved snack foods that were no longer in our pantry. And as they ate their veggies each night at dinner, they would curse their mother under their breath, which was okay as long as it was under their breath. So we faced some initial resistance, but here's the thing, we stuck with it. And eventually, our kids adjusted. Their palates actually changed, and they got used to eating food that wasn't drenched in sugar, salt, and fat. And at our next checkup, everything was back to normal. And our pediatrician was amazed. He asked me, he said, "What did you all do?" And he wasn't asking hypothetically. He really wanted to know how we've been able to turn things around so quickly, because he told me that in his practice, he was seeing an increase in the number of families struggling with the exact same problem. We had long discussions in the doctor's office about rising childhood obesity rates and the impact he was seeing on his patients' health outcomes. increased type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure. He was seeing all this. He demanded them, and companies stepped up to meet the demand. And if we want to keep seeing better food options for our families, then we need to keep raising our voices and convincing more parents to join us in voting with their wallets. We as parents need to be leading this conversation about kids' health in this country. So when naysayers claim that we just can't afford to serve our kids healthy food, it's up to us as parents to push back and say we can't afford not to give our kids nutritious food. Because when we're spending hundreds of billions of dollars treating obesity-related diseases, we simply don't have the luxury to ignore this issue. And when folks mock our efforts, it's parents who need to be out there saying, excuse me, but our children's health isn't a joke. 1/3 of kids being overweight or obese isn't funny. Kids being diagnosed with diabetes and high blood pressure at young ages is just not a laughing matter. This is a serious issue, and we need to be doing something about it. And you all are such powerful messengers on this issue. You have such an incredible platform. Just the 150 of you in this room alone reach tens of millions of people. Let's just step back. Let's look at yourselves. All the power that you're wielding right here in this room. Mommy bloggers and the tin dads. So don't ever doubt the difference you all can make, both as bloggers with a national reach and as leaders in your own family. And I know changing habits and routines is not easy. I know there are times when you don't feel like fighting those food battles with your kids. But I can tell you from my own experience that when you start young with your kids and you keep at it, eventually you reap the rewards. See, my girls today, as young women, teenagers, you've seen them, they're growing up. They still enjoy their weekly dessert, and they still eat out just like regular teenagers. But more often than not, I see them reaching for a piece of fruit as a snack when they're hungry. Right now, I see them doing, on their own, looking for ways to incorporate exercise into their lives. They're doing this all on their own, without any prodding or involvement from their parents. Now that they're able to make their own decisions, they have this foundation of knowledge that was built when they were younger, just when I thought they weren't listening to me. Go figure that out. And as First Lady, I've seen the impact of this work on a national scale as well. After so many years, childhood obesity rates have stopped rising, and rates for our youngest kids have actually started to fall. And I have no doubt that if we keep pushing forward on this issue, one day we will look back on the food we used to feed our kids, and it'll be like looking back on the days when we didn't wear seatbelts or high helmets or sunscreen. We'll be like, man, can you believe we used to eat that stuff? So make no mistake about it. What we're doing is working, and we can't let up now. Not when we're finally starting to see some progress. So for those of you who are wondering, I have no intentions of stopping this work once my family leaves the White House.
That's why they're back.
It's not like I have a 1 year or 2 year time frame on this issue. For me, this issue is the rest of my life kind of time frame, because I know that's what it's going to take to truly solve this problem. And I truly hope that all of you will stick with me on this issue for years to come, even as your kids grow up and become human beings. We need to keep at it for all the other families and parents out there who are still pushing and working on this issue. I hope that you all will use your voice, continue to use your voices and your influence to inspire and support other parents as they work to raise healthy kids. If we all keep working together I know we can keep making a difference on this issue, and I know we can keep doing better for our next generation, because we need them healthy and strong and focused. So, once again, I really want to thank you all. This was the reason why we wanted to have you here. Yeah, we wanted to talk to you about Let's Move and show you all our nifty gadgets, but we wanted to reward you in some way for the hard work that you've been doing out there, and give you the information, hopefully, that will help you spread the word even more. There is power in this room. There is power in individual voices, and you all are showing it every single day. And I could not be more proud of this group and all that you've achieved. So keep it up. Don't get tired. There's a lot more work to do. I hope you all enjoy getting to see the White House kitchen garden. We haven't even done the planning, so what you're gonna see is the hoop houses, right? Everything is hooped over. When are we gonna do the planting? In early April, we bring the kids out and we start our planting. But we wanted you to at least see what's out there. So I hope you enjoy that. The bees are out there too, hopefully they're quiet. But I really, truly look forward to working with you all in the months and years ahead. So enjoy yourselves, and God bless you all.